Seru kering. सेकेंड ईयर का क्वेश्चन ये तो
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Our next panel discussion focuses on women entrepreneurship in tribal areas. we have the honor of hosting distinguished individuals who have dedicated their lives to the society and empowering rural communities. Joining us today are Dr. Shubhra Dwivedi and Mrs. Shikha Jain. Facilitating our discussion is Professor Shweta Jha from IIM Ranchi. I request all of the dignitaries and Professor Jha to please join us on the stage.
Okay, a very good evening to all. We are going to have an interesting panel discussion on an important and timely topic, that is women entrepreneurship in tribal area. And I take this opportunity to invite both of our panelists, Dr. Shubhra Dwivedi and Ms. Shikha Jain. So basically in this panel discussion, we will be discussing the various challenges which were faced by the women entrepreneurs, as well as is there any support which is available there, and how technology can help them to, uplift their work or whatever things they are doing related to, to the tribal region. Let me introduce the dignitaries. So Dr. Shubhra Dwivedi is a PhD from JNU, New Delhi. She has been leading SEEDS, a Jharkhand-based civil society organization, since last 28 years. I welcome Dr. Dwivedi. And our next panelist is Ms. Shikha Jain. Ms. Jain has done her BTech from RAC Kurukshetra and is the head of the organization of Neem Herbal Soaps since 2007. I welcome both of them. Now we'll have a video of seeds.
The NGO SEEDS, or Socio-Economic and Education Development Society, with the support of XLRI Jamshedpur, has taken an initiative to shape 2 villages of Jharkhand into model villages. SEEDS has succeeded in empowering the poor communities through holistic and sustainable approaches. This approach of development is based on the concept of Mahatma Gandhi's Gram Swarajya. It has drawn parameters and strategies from the UN Millennium Project and subsequently from the Global Sustainable Development Goals to end extreme rural poverty.
This project, known as SUGRAM, is an integrated set of interventions made to include the constitution of several community-based organizations, improving the quality of school education, total adult literacy, skill development of communities for better food production, nutrition, health, water, sanitation, communication, livelihood, enterprise diversification, and accessing government schemes and services. We are impressed to see the impact of these interventions in these 2 villages, particularly among 1,500 direct beneficiaries.
Two model villages, better known as Sugram, were identified in two districts. One, Shwaspur, about 35 kilometers from the industrial town of Jamshedpur, and the other, Kuchidi, located nearly 27 kilometers away from the city of Jamshedpur. These are villages free from the hustle and bustle of modern life, surrounded by forest land and paddy fields. The people of both the villages mostly work in the fields or as contract workers in the nearby factories. The baseline survey conducted in the initial phase of the project, that is, in the latter half of the year 2013, showed a dismal picture. Nearly 85% of the 310 families lived below the poverty line. The total literacy rate was 64%, with female literacy being even lower at 49%. The school building, together with its environment, was miserable, and the attendance of children as well as of teachers was far from satisfactory. Obviously, the quality of education was at its lowest. A lot of area around the government schools lay barren, and the outlying fields remained useless for over 6 months of the year. The advanced and semi-advanced methods of cultivation were alien to them. Most of the people here lived without proper sanitation. They did not know how to handle their domestic waste and garbage. There were no household toilets nor safe sources of drinking water. Like many in our country, these people were constantly struggling to improve the quality of their life. These men, women, and children needed motivation, direction, and a better purpose in life. Amid such state of affairs, the Socio-Economic and Education Development Society, popularly known as SEEDS, launched its interventions in the two villages. As has been proved time and again, if a community has to be developed, first of all, its women need to be empowered. This was once again proved right when women readily came forward to attend the literacy circles and to start income-generating activities. The 6 literacy centers for women have been instrumental in hiking the female literacy rate to nearly double of what it was earlier. Now, they not only can read and write in Hindi and do simple arithmetic, but are a lot more confident with their newly acquired skills of communication, self-confidence, and leadership. Enthused with their progress, the neo-literate women in Kuchidi have also made strides into the English language. This newfound confidence among the neo-literate women is clearly perceptible, and they have shaped up into a formidable force for all-round development in their villages. They now participate in the Gram Sabha meetings, go to banks and government offices and advocate for their rights.
पहले मतलब नहीं पढ़ाएगा तो फिर बाद में यहाँ पर सीट के ट्यूशन हुआ मैंने कोचिंग यहाँ पर हम पढ़ाई किए पढ़ाई करके अभी बहुत हमारा फायदा हो गया मतलब हमको लगा फायदा हुआ पहले से जैसे बहुत मतलब पहले जैसे गबर था हम लोग हमारे सब अभी नहीं है हम जहाँ भी जाते हैं बैंक उक जाते हैं हमारा काम हम ही कर लेते हैं किसी को हमको मदद मांगने के लिए कोई जरूरत नहीं होती है जो हमको फॉर्म भर दो यहाँ क्या है लिखा चुका हम बता दो वो सब नहीं हम हमसे ही कर लेते हैं मतलब
इस चीज के तरफ से पढ़ाई लिखाई सीखे हम तो इससे ये फायदा हुआ कि हम अपना बच्चा को खुद पढ़ा सकते हैं कहीं ट्यूशन के लिए भेजना नहीं पड़ेगा हम खुद ट्यूशन करा सकते हैं तो बैंक कहीं जाएंगे तो फॉर्म भी भर सकते हैं दूसरे के ये से हेल्प नहीं मांगना पड़ेगा.
The quality of school education now has improved considerably. The school managing committee meets regularly, and the villagers monitor the functioning of the schools and also the midday meals. The remedial learning centers for high school students in the subjects of English, science, and mathematics have shown drastic improvement in learning levels.
Okay, so after going through the works of seeds, next we'll move towards the video of Neve, basically going through the what Neve soaps do.
Hi, I'm Shikha. I'm the head of the organization Neve Herbal Handmade Soaps. We are situated in village Holong of Jharkhand, Jamshedpur. Our effort is always to introduce products which are chemical free, handmade. So our organization focuses on giving dignified employment to the rural women. The whole of village is involved, because we have a lot of plantation of all the herbs. And kids pluck the leaves and get a lot of fruits and vegetables from around the village and bring them to our unit, which we process and use over here. The production processes are very gentle. There is no machinery used. There is only one 70-watt hand mixer which is used. So this ensures, one, that we have a very less carbon footprint. Secondly, everything can be handmade. Because we are in the village, since beginning we made sure that we never harm the environment in any way. We are totally on solar electricity. We have panels which produce around 650 watts of electricity, but we are not connected with the mainline electricity. Our business mode has changed quite a bit. Previously, we were like 75% on retail and exhibitions, but now we are 75% of our business is online. So we've been doing quite well at Amazon, Flipkart, and our own website. Thanks to many of the well-wishers and promoters. There is a temple at the first floor of the unit. And in the temple, so in the morning and the evening, pujas are performed. All the women and children participate in the pujas. People are more engaged positively in the temple, in the pujas. On every Purnima, we distribute something which is needed by the villagers, which everybody should have.
Hi, this is Harshal. I'm currently designated as a marketing head of Neve. So I saw a lot of untouched potential in the field of online marketing and social media marketing. My future plans for Neve is that whenever someone thinks of organic, the first one that comes to their mind is Neve.
मेरा नाम है रंजीत कुमार महतो, मैं यहाँ के मैनेजर हूँ और मैं यहाँ करीब 7 साल हो गया। इंडिया के बाहर में हमारे 11 कंट्री में माल जाता है। ऑल ओवर इंडिया में मेरे 700 दुकानदार है जिसको मैंने सप्लाई करते हैं। मेरा सोच यही है कि मैं यहाँ से जाने के बावजूद में मेरा हमेशा याद रखें, मेरा यही रहे, ईमानदारी के साथ काम करना ही सबसे बड़ा मैं ये समझता हूँ।
Aim for Neve would be to make it the biggest handmade organic brand in India and across the world.
Yeah, we wish that it continues like this. The future generations of this village and yeah, probably my daughter who will take over. So they all maintain this goodness that has started, and yeah, and that's the hope. Hi, I'm Shikha. I'm the head of the organization.
Okay, so let's begin with our discussion. While going through the video, I was wondering, before discussing challenges, let's talk about the support and the resources which are available for women entrepreneurs in tribal areas, and what are the things which are still needed to be done to provide them more support so that they can be successful in their area.
I think so. Well, rather say from my personal experience. So we actually had an NGO, and to begin with, only the NGO, and we were having 18 self-help groups of women in the villages, and we also had a school. My own daughter, whom you saw, she studied in that school, rural school only, and then she did BIT Mesra, and now she's going to study in Paris MBA. So, and studying in that village school only. So in that kind of school, I was teaching, and the mothers of those children, they said, we want to learn something, the self-help group women. And we started making soaps after the school with the along with the women who were interested. And it started in a small hut in 2007 with just one woman and 5 kinds of soaps. And last year we had a turnover of around 3 crores, and we have 60 women working with us, and we have a Goshala temple and an afternoon school as well, and the whole village also gets benefited. So this all has happened only because of the blessings of God, of course, and because of the workmanship and the spirit of the women to grow, to achieve something in their life and to live positively and grow out of their current situations in which they are stuck. So there is a huge potential as well as an urge to grow in the women, and I think that is the power that has been driving all the village units. Most of them are, done by the women. The government has been supportive. The idea of self-help group, the idea of, getting market help from the government in form of holding exhibitions, marketing of the products, that has helped. And I was hearing from, Professor Shweta also that, even IIM goes and helps gives tips of marketing to self-help groups in nearby areas. So these kind of things has helped. For us, a great help came from XLRI students. We've had at least 30 international students come over to our unit, work with us, stay with us for 6 weeks, and give all their inputs. So that was the help. The XLRI students and professors helped us in all marketing strategies and in designing the interior of our factory, and preparing all the documents for the certification. We have our own drugs and cosmetic license, which is not an easy task. It requires huge amount of documentation. And so all that was done by all these student interns. So for us, it was just the social capital, which built the whole thing. We've not got any government support. Of course, it was registered under Khadi. And as I said, we took a loan of 60,000 rupees, out of which just 18,000 was like a rebate kind of thing. And then we get support from government in terms of marketing. There are a lot of exhibitions which are held where our products can be marketed, and from Khadi and from the government. But again, not too much. And I think apart from that, it hasn't been, much of a help. Rather, we are paying a whole lot of sales tax, and for the mehendi that we grow on our own, process on our own by hand without using any electricity, and yet we pay 18% tax on selling the mehendi also, as well as 18% tax on the packaging, buying the packaging also. So from my personal perspective, I think there is a huge possibility of the government intervention plus the intervention of all the colleges where I think people like you can really give online help. I'll tell you that every year we used to grow by 10 lakhs till 2018, till 2020, and then we reached a turnover of 1 crore. But then COVID came. My daughter, with a lot of expertise in social media and all our friends, they took the turnover from 1 crore to 1.5 to 2 to 2.5 to 3. So that leap happened because of the help from for online marketing from the kids of the colleges. So I think a huge potential is there when students like you can, and institutions like IIM and other institutions can help these grassroots organizations working in the villages to grow by marketing their products, because they have very beautiful products which have a lot of demand, but they just need improvement in presentation as well as online marketing. So yeah, I think there's a huge scope. Till now we've had, I think, around 100 students. We don't have even a single other skilled person apart from me and my daughter in our unit. Everybody is only rural girls and rural women. And yet all the presently our Facebook page, our Instagram page, our website, our online sales on Flipkart and Amazon, everything is managed by the students. So who work as interns or who work as like apprentices. So yeah, so we have grown because of the students and not so much by the help from other resources of government or any other corporate. It's just the power of the women, the urge to grow, as well as the goodness of the students who are wanting to contribute to the society. I think these are the resources they have been available with us. Yeah.
Now I'll request Professor Dr. Shubhra to answer.
It's a red light.
So good evening to all. And seeds, we saw when the part of entrepreneurship was about to come, I think the time got over for the film, so we could not see that. So seeds reaches out to about 725 villages and hamlets in 5 districts of Jharkhand. So we are working for the last about 28 years. We are working in very interior villages, and where we can't start working, focusing on one thing. So it is integrated interventions starting from, right from community mobilization to community organization and health, education, livelihood, and women's empowerment. Now we are working in the field of child rights and participation of people in the local self-governance. So we are working very much at the grassroots with the poorest people, and about 90% of our villages and the households we work with belong to the scheduled tribes. So there are 8 tribes in our areas, and out of these, 3 are the particularly vulnerable tribes: the Birhors, Sabars, and the Pahadia tribes. And the other tribes are the Mundas, the Santals, Bhumish, Mahalis. And you see, they are fighting, struggling for a proper existence itself. So, livelihood is a very, very basic issue. And there are lots of government schemes, but since these areas are in the interiors, it is not implemented properly in these areas. And, entrepreneurship in the tribal areas among the poorest people, it is barely to be seen. There may be very, even if there are a few, these may be termed best as micro enterprises. And these are based on the forest resources. So, early in the morning, women go to the forest and to collect, the minor forest produce, which are, flowers, seeds, leaves, roots, wood. And they carry it downhill and sell it at, very minimal prices to the middlemen. And these things go to other areas, and then the other people are making the profits. So, the grassroots women, they are not entrepreneurs per se. They are so bogged down by their daily work, domestic work, farm work. There are only two things which women do not do, the tribal women, which they are, it's a taboo for them. One is plowing the fields, and the other one is making rooftops. And barring these two, they do all the work inside and outside. And sorry to say, the men are, they do nearly nothing, except the ones who go for contract labor and all that. Sometimes when we do the gender workload exercise, so men are also there and women are also there. So women, the work of women, there'll be about 32, 35. And for men, there'll be 4 types of work, and then they'll be scratching their heads, or kya. And so it is well known, it is a universal fact, that tribal women, they work in and out most of the time. So, and they have to look after the children, and they are also subject to a lot of gender-based violence. So, this came to light, we are working for so many years, and the general notion is that, the tribal families, they're very peaceful and, so comparatively, yes. But in 2018, we did a survey of 11,000 households, so 11,000 women, and we got 1,900 cases of domestic violence. And this is a lower number because women were not willing to, let out, their very private things out in public. So now we have changed our course of work, from income generation, livelihood as the focal intervention to gender equality, bringing about gender equality and doing away with gender-based violence. And it is also a fact that compared to earlier years, now there are many government schemes which promote livelihood for the tribals and for women also. It is another story that, all of these schemes do not reach the people. But nevertheless, we think that, there is, could I talk about the scope also? Yeah. Because you asked a specific thing, yeah. So, the challenges are many, especially for these poor women in the villages. So, they have got no exposure, there's no skill training. So and even the enterprises which exist, if we can call them enterprises, it is on a very low scale. And, since they do not have exposure, they make things which cater to the tastes of the rural people, to the local people. And then they cannot match with the more advanced and modern machine-made items. I will give a small example of, we attend many of the bankers and district administration meetings. And, we decide what business the women will do. We do not involve the primary stakeholders. And the first thing, which the government officials and bank people and others will say, they will say that, silai machine kharid dete hain, and, they will learn tailoring, and stitching. But they fail to understand that, it can at best be taught for, purposes as a hobby, but not as business, because they cannot compete with the cheap and good quality ready-made garments, which in Jamshedpur and nearby areas comes in heaps and tons from Kolkata. And, so they cannot match the quality, and the scale, of course, is very low. So even price-wise, they cannot do it. So they teach them, the skill is given in tailoring, and, they give them the cloth and other things, and it piles up to the roof with no marketing. So they have no idea of marketing these things. So the sum of the interventions which SEEDS has made is related to the local natural resources, the forest-based resources. And it is at best, a very micro processing they do. So it is much better than selling off the forest produce or the natural produce straight away to the middlemen or the petty traders. So some of the examples which I could relate was, in the forest, we have got the oil seeds. So like we have got mahua, locally it is called kochra in Santali, and we have kusum, then neem, and so we have installed oil expellers in the village. So a group of women, they have learned to operate the machine, and plus, hundreds of women who are collectors of minor forest produce, they come and sell at these points, so they get a better price when they sell in the village, rather than selling it to the middlemen. And then we have got spice grinding machines, and making puffed rice, muri. And also the sal and siali leaves are found in abundance in our areas. So they press the leaves, so make into, bowls and plates. So it, it enhances the price, it increases the income of these women. And once the income raises, so naturally they buy things for the household, and many of their husbands, they migrate for work. So if the income of women increases in the village, they become micro entrepreneurs. So the husbands do not go outside to work. And then, the respect for the women also increases, because she has started earning. And they can send the children to better schools, or, give them some tuition sort of things. So these are some of the things which we are doing in our areas.
So as Shikha has mentioned that they are already using social media, and her daughter has helped in that, and also there were a few college students who were there. So how do you guys see that how technology is going to, empower these women, and how they are going to use it for, betterment of their entrepreneurship journey? So any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think because the students are here, I would like to encourage every one of them, and especially, I guess, they were from IP.
Yes, yes. So I'm looking forward that they join you guys for the
Yeah, sure.
internship.
So, as I said that, I'm just contradicting Dr. Shubhra here. हमारे गांव में अभी जब घर में लड़की पैदा होती है तो लोग ज़्यादा खुश होते हैं और लड़के लोग बोलते हैं अरे यार मैं लड़की क्यों नहीं हूँ इसलिए क्योंकि now women are earning more than men and women get much more facilities and they are enjoying life much more than men, and even the young girls also, they get so much of better opportunities. So it's like really so that every time it's like men are behind and the women are much more powerful in our area now, in our village at least, because because of the not just the social empowerment and economic empowerment, but also spiritual empowerment. It is the अगर किसी के पास में पैसे हों और सोशल स्टेटस भी अच्छा हो मगर अंदर से वो खुश ना हो तो शायद यू कांट एंश्योर कि he has a good life. But if somebody is spiritually happy, from inside he is happy. So even if he is not very socially and economically empowered, then also he's leading a good life. So this is the principle that we are working on with everyone, and especially with the women, because they are more ready to absorb and ready to learn and ready to work and ready to, give their all. And I would encourage the students to intervene, especially in the social media marketing, because आप अगर corporate में job कर भी लेते हो, what will you do? You'll buy better mobiles, you'll buy better houses, maybe a better holiday, but that outer progress will, or you'll have more, opportunities to enjoy with friends, more resources to enjoy with friends. But that will ensure only the outer well-being, but your inner well-being will come when you, give back to the society, when you help others. So श्वेता जी से बात कर रहे थे कि उनके इतने सारे experiences में जब वो लोहरदगा में गई and she helped the women, rural women in marketing, and when she saw that they are getting inspired, so that gave her the, inner satisfaction. So at least it has to be a combination of your efforts should go, in giving back to the society also. And you guys have a little contribution from you guys can produce a huge impact in the areas. So as I said कि हम लोग शुरुआत से we were really struggling with our marketing of products, of the rural products, but the moment we got help from in the social media marketing, our growth has been exponential, and it has been only because of the intervention of the technology and help from the students. So online marketing is now the thing, and whatever is presented well is sold well, and whatever is marketed well is sold well. There are good quality products everywhere, but then still it is just about marketing, I think, right now. And you guys can really help in that area. And it doesn't take much. You just have to find various organizations, grassroots organizations near you, and do your bit. And you can do it along with your job and along with your studies. You don't have to give a lot of time and effort into it. But you should do it. And that's what I want to say. Yeah.
So Dr. Shubhra, what's your thought on this?
See, Shikha's work is in the village which is adjoining Jamshedpur, It is a panchayat area. So it is almost in Jamshedpur, So, there is a big difference, in areas which are far interior because they don't have these facilities also. Like we have got many areas where, there is no mobile network. People do not have mobile phones. They have to go up to a certain point on a hillock, and then they can get it like that. Uh, related to technology, I would say that I will give you a small example. We visited IIT Kharagpur a few years back, and they have a post-harvest technology department, So we had gone to see that particularly, whether it could help us, our farmers and all. So, so there were at least 50 or 60 fantastic prototypes which they had developed, which would make the lives of farmers and women easier in their work. So we were so impressed by that, and then after seeing that, when the director came, and it was a great occasion because first time an NGO was visiting, that department, So, there was a very simple machine, It was non-powered. And since some of our villages that time did not have electricity, now they all have. So we told them that, we would like the prototype of making mudhi, murmura or puffed rice. And then they told us that, no, this is not for commercial purposes, I mean, it's made there and kept. So, so I told them that, what is the use of, just putting it up for exhibition? And so much money was being spent on the display and maintaining those things, and fantastic things written about those, the advantages, the uses. And they said that no. So, we put our foot down, and we had taken 3 of our SHG women also, and then we told them, ki aap log, is not, of course, yours, we whispered in their ears, that आप लोग ज़रा उनको बोलिए कि आपको कितनी इसकी ज़रूरत है, because they were very happy because they were doing it by hand and it was taking a lot of time. So they told them in their words, mixed with Bangla and Santali and Hindi, and then they had to relent, And so that was a big achievement for us, So they shared one of the machines subsequently, and we got permission from them that our ironsmiths in the village, they would be able to make it, So they gave us the permission, And then, we just produced it on scale, and it was very affordable. It was a simple machine. So, and there are similar cases, in Jamshedpur, we have got National Metallurgical Laboratory. It is a CSIR lab, and they also have, fantastic things, which they have produced. But again, that is, displayed in the great fairs once in a year or twice in a year. So, the research we do, it should have a social purpose, It should not be just for academics, and then it should become the pride, of the pen drives, It will be just remaining in that. We should make an effort that so much of research, it has some application, means not all of those, but I think it will help a lot, It will connect the most advanced with the grassroots. And I think, yeah, I would wanted to tell that.
I concur with you on that, that whatever research we are doing, it should be, at least we should be able to commercialize it so that whosoever is, the beneficiary, they should be able to use it. Otherwise, there's no point of doing research and making those big, technological advancement. So with that, my next question is, what are the challenges you think that are still there, for these women entrepreneurs who are still working in tribal areas? So what are your take on that?
Yeah, I think any institution, any organization works on three principles: innovate, improve, and sustain. And it's a daily task. Every day you have to innovate, otherwise you'll die. Every day you have to improve. Every day you have to sustain. And I think it's the similar. There are similar challenges like any other corporate company. It's the similar for any smallest of shops or smallest of manufacturing enterprises or smallest of any person who's doing any kind of service provider also, to if he wants to grow. Otherwise it stagnates. So that way the challenges are similar. I think additional challenges for women are the mental block. The biggest thing is the mental block for women. Like, I'll go to the tribal part later, but being a woman, thinking ki how people are looking at me and what my parents are or my family is expecting from me and what others are expecting from me as a woman. So when you relate not just like a woman, but you relate like an entrepreneur, you relate like a business person. So that mental block has to be faced by the women. The men get it easy. Second thing is that, the physically or mentally plus physically also. But I think it is only imaginary, it's not real. I personally have found that, so we have only women working with us, girls aging from 15 to 65, 70-year-olds, girls and women. There are no men. तो कोई भी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का प्रॉब्लम होगा, कुछ भी भारी चीज़ उठाना होगा. So lot of, these things happen and you have to go out, talk to people and crack business deals, whatever, everything. And traveling out. So previously we used to do only exhibitions. So at any point of time, every year we used to do around 30 exhibitions. So these women who have not even stepped out of their house initially, now they're traveling alone, not even without, even without me, they're traveling alone in trains and for staying for 15 days in hotels and, doing the exhibitions. And so, but it came easy. It's just that when you see more and more women doing this, they learn and they get it easy. So it's for women, it's like they have to break the barrier. It's just a mental block and everybody can do as much as, women can do better probably than men, and it's being proved now. So it's just a mental block which women have to overcome. And the second block is again the physical. Even that can be, they have better minds, so they can probably do compensate for that physical power also. It can be arranged, and we have machines now, so it can be arranged. But just that urge to do it as much as men should be there, that they should not feel less at any point of time. And in the tribal areas, again, it's the mental block of the habits. So as she said that the women are more hardworking in the tribal areas, but they have that mental block कि जो करते आए हैं उसमें नया कुछ भी नहीं करना, and whatever is being said by all others, they follow. So that block has to be really overcome. And but it happens. I think economy is something which drives. अगर कोई ₹500 खाली कमा रहा है तो उसके पेरेंट्स बोलेंगे क्यों जा रही हो, क्या कर रही हो. So I had one girl working in my house as a house help. Her parents were getting her married when she was in standard 9. She was a very, very good student. So I said, "No, you work with me." And I told her parents कि रुक जाओ, 1 साल रुक जाओ. She worked with me. She studied harder. She learned computers. Now she's earning 20,000 rupees a month she got a job in telco. And her parents are not wanting to marry her because their economic situation has improved, right? So it happens like this only. Economy, it's the status of men is higher because they have been driving the economy. But I think the situations are changing now. The world is changing. It's the women who are performing better academically, and the machines are doing the physical work. So we don't require so much of physical power. So the women can at least be equal to men. So that is being seen in and the women have more urge to grow than the men. Once they start off, I think there's no stopping them. So it's just breaking the ice for once, and after that, whether it is tribal women, yeah. So as I said, कि हम लोग कभी travel करते हैं, AC में travel करते हैं for the exhibitions. So these women who have been, those who don't even know the areas beyond their villages, even in Jamshedpur, they travel to Bangalore, Delhi and all. And, sometimes I take them and I see them, fatak se they learn how to make the tea, कौन सा पानी में मिलाना है, क्या कैसे करना है. So they see and they learn. So it's just about, they're ready. Everybody is like, all women are ready to just go ahead. And it's only about getting the exposure. And the tribals are no less than the people, but it's just about the opportunity, and it's just about the getting the exposure. So, but the potential is as much. It's not less in any way.
You have to add something.
Actually, I see from the perspective of, thousands and lakhs of these women, of course, what Shika is saying, it is absolutely true, and doable, but again, it is the issue of, the tribal women, because we work, as I'm mentioning it again and again, that in the very interior areas, so, their tribal women do face isolation as a result of their language, as a result of their lifestyle, which is very different from the rest of the society. So, so areas where we go, they will not see eye to eye and talk. They do not know how to express, so they'll be looking down. So those are those are very major issues, and continual efforts have to be made to empower them. And actually, it is very difficult for the women who are tribal women living in interior villages. They are the first to get up in the morning and last to sleep. So they have to fend for their fuel and for water. Though the government schemes are coming, Har Ghar Jal, and electricity, the lines, the power has reached. But, how many hours do they get the electricity, So that is a very important issue. So, even when they have these micro enterprises, which is, they cannot think of scaling it up because there are many issues related to that. And so as a result, the scale of operation is low. so the profit is low. And then because technology is not the advanced one which they are using, and then they are not skilled also, you know. So these are major challenges for women who are living in the very interior areas. And, you know, their skills are also very traditional. So due to lack of exposure, you know, these problems are there.
Yeah, I still feel it is the only. I think we both are coming from very different perspective also and experience also. But yeah, even our place is also like mainly tribal Mundas and Sorains and Sabar tribe. But so ours, when we started 15 years back, it was similar situation, but it is only because of the economic empowerment of the women that everything else has, you know, come along. So last year we took our women for a 5-day trip to, we went on foot to Devghar for वो जो कांवर लेके जाते हैं. So it was a major challenge. I'll tell you why. We got national award when I also started. So हमारा beginning में we got a national award. To go to Delhi to take the award from the President of India, the major challenge was ki who will take care of my daughter and who will cook the food in my house in my absence. So to take the national award, to, you know, so, and we got a lot of opportunities to participate in China, in Italy, in South Africa. But again, the challenges were always ki who will take care of my daughter and who will cook the food in my house, right? So that was how it was. But then when, that's what I'm saying, when money comes, everything is arranged. So these women, 52 women we took, and so many of them having children of age 4 years, 3 years, but, and nobody else to cook apart from them. But because now they are so empowered and now they are so much, they have so much of earning, so their freedom and their priority and their liking and dislikes are, you know, respected. So they could travel, and for 5 days their husbands managed the children, their husbands managed the food, cooking and everything. So empowerment comes with the economic empowerment. Once you are an earning person, then, you know, everything is taken care of. So it's the same for the tribals, it's the same for the women, it's same for everybody. Once you are economically empowered, yeah, your the opportunities and your habits and everything changes. Yeah.
So now there are few who are really doing great. Okay, but there are many who requires the support. So how to create an ecosystem where the women entrepreneurs who are working in this area are, like, you know, successful, versus people who are just trying to, you know, begin. How to connect all of them and make a support system for each other so that they can play a role of, you know, a mentor for them and uplift them, or maybe show them that how to, you know, go towards this path. So what's your opinion on that, both of you?
See, one is, you know, okay, a network building, you know. See, like if we are very serious about this, you know, then we will first have to map, you know, maybe a village-wise. I mean, it's not an easy task, block-wise at district level. So, you know, we'll have to map the entrepreneurs on the basis of, okay, scale. It could be rural, urban, you know, the type of enterprise. So, you know, if all those are categorized, and then also, you know, the successful women entrepreneurs, like, they will have to, you know, act as mentors they could also, um, constructively engage some of the grassroots entrepreneurs as, as apprentices with them. So, they get a hands-on experience with them. And I think, there's a big scope that the ones who are more experienced or more successful, their stories of transformation that can be shared physically and of course on social media also. And, we have regular meetings, at block levels, panchayat levels. So there also, they could take time off, or, their videos could be shown or something, some way, so that there is exposure and learning. And it has to be systematized, there should be monthly meetings or, quarterly get-togethers or seminars or skill building. I think this way it could work.
So I would pass on the ball to you. I think it is you guys who can make the tribal women entrepreneurs successful. तुम लोग इंस्टाग्राम पे कितनी सारी पोस्ट लाइक करते हो, क्या क्या आजकल चलता है, वो वाह वाह ये वो है ना. So it becomes viral. I think what should become viral is that we should buy only Indian products. We should buy sustainable products. We should buy products made by women entrepreneurs. We should buy products made by rural people. That urge should come. Jaise Modi ji bole ki made in India has become now, that kind of feeling should be there in all the people to buy not brands, not foreign brands and give our money. So ek mera बहुत favorite anecdote है कि when Angrez came to India 250 years back, they saw Indians washing their teeth, cleaning their teeth with coal and koila and namak. And they said, Chichi, how dirty it is, you take our Colgate. And the Indians, so stupid, they said, कि हाँ हाँ ये ज़्यादा अच्छा है, ये ज़्यादा clean है, इससे clean नहीं होगा. And they started buying Colgate. And today they ask, तुम्हारे toothpaste में नमक है? And they sell that same koila and same namak and same neem to us, and we still buy Colgate. And we give all our money to the foreign companies. So we are so unaware how we are putting down our own country, how we are putting down the main, India is 70% rural India. India is not mainly the urban India. India is still 70% rural India, and 30% of the GDP still comes from the artifacts and from the handicraft sector, right? So you have to encourage that, and that is sustainable, that is more, that will take us long way. There are other economies which are very fragile. All the economies based on fuel, non-renewable resources, on stock markets and on capital markets are not sustainable. But India, based on agriculture and handicrafts, is very sustainable. It has sustained 2 different economic crises. It's all about the youth realizing that how India is rural India. We should not look down upon rural India. We should not look down upon rural products. We should not look down upon handicrafts. We should not look down upon traditions. We should look up to them, and we should think through कि कितना उसमें depth है, कितनी authenticity है, और कितना प्यार भरे सारे products. And we should buy only Indian, and we should wear Indian, we should use Indian, we should buy Indian, and we should encourage, we should be aware कि ये product किसने बनाया है, कौन सी कोई foreign company बना रही है या Indian company बना रही है, उसमें कितने chemicals हैं, कितना हमारे लिए वो बेहतर है. We are only worried usually about our status. Oh, हमने Reebok पहना है, हमने ये पहना है, हमने वो पहना है. So we are proud more to, show foreign brands, which is pathetic, which is actually not really, intelligent, because you are putting down your own India and you are promoting foreign companies. है ना? So we should take pride in what we are, and that is what requires to be viral on Instagram, on Facebook. Use that to, promote this kind of thinking. Use that to promote yourself. Don't promote others, promote yourself. So yeah, that is what it should be like. And if you are being empowered, especially students of IPH are being empowered to do just this job. So please don't do work in some foreign company and go to some foreign country. Please promote India and promote Indian products and rural products and tribal products and women women manufactured products. Yeah, I think that is what is required. Baki sab to chota mota hai. Wo it's like plucking leaves of the tree. Agar sare consumers mein, consumer is the king. Consumers mein awareness aa jaye, so then we will buy then the economy will be driven in that way. Yeah, that is what I think.
I hope now onwards they all will use, Indian products. Okay, so with this, now I invite the audience, if they have any question and answer, they can have that questions.
Thank you for an enlightening talk. I'm Vivek Mehra, and for most of my life, I've been a professional publisher and led multinational roles. I was just very quickly, while you were speaking, going through your product list and doing that. And one question that came to my mind, if you're doing 3.5 crores, what's the benchmark you would like to achieve? I mean, it's not a question I want you to answer right away. That's for you to introspect on. And then whether that is achievable with the resources that you have. So if you have that, then I found the product mix. I only picked one product, your handmade Shikakai soap. And I found its positioning quite different. I mean, quite difficult to understand, because it's not Chandrika and Medimix, and it's not Kama Ayurved or Forest Essentials. Yes. So it's somewhere in between. And I think the greatest story is not the creation of the soap, but the work that you're doing. I think that has been underplayed even on your website. I was just glancing through that. I've been a marketer all my life for some 35 years. That's all I have done. And Dr. Shubhra, I think on entrepreneurship, that's an area very close to my heart, and for scale. So one of the things that I talked about a little just before your session was taking India's research publishing to scale. So that's what I devote most of my time in right now. I have an edtech startup that I'm working on. But in entrepreneurship, if there's anything I could do to support, the villages are where India lies and where my heart lies. So I'm one of the first who left America in the 1980s with everything, with a foreign education and everything, and came back to India. It's a different story. I struggled for most of my life. But the point I'm making is, if there's anything I can do, I was going through your website, Seeds JSR, and I couldn't read a lot of it, but I thought that I would just throw that opportunity open. If I can be of help, I'd be very happy to do so. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so we would like to position ourselves, and we try to position ourselves as affordable Kama Ayurveda, affordable first essential, because they are very, very high.
Why can't you be you?
No, we are we only, but because already people know Kama Ayurveda, and many of them would like to buy Kama Ayurveda, but they are not able to buy Kama Ayurveda. We do respect Kama Ayurveda. They have done a good work. They have really, made Ayurveda acceptable to people, and they have presented it so well that people can now appreciate Ayurveda, our own Ayurveda, but they have presented it in such a way. हमारे यहाँ इंडिया की मेरे को बहुत हमारी इंडियन साइकी की मैं बहुत क्रिटिक हूँ, इसलिए मैं ये भी देखती हूँ कि चाहे वो बायोटिक है, चाहे वो शहनाज हुसैन है, चाहे वो फॉरेस्ट एसेंशियल है या कामा आयुर्वेदा है, when it is successful outside India, then only it's acceptable in India. So when it is only Indian, not for Chandrika and Medimix, but then it's not acceptable by the high niche people. Yeah, it's still, with the middle class. So, so Indians have that psyche. They still, अंग्रेज चले गए, अंग्रेजी वो जो गुलामी है ना वो अभी भी छोड़ गए. अभी भी we still appreciate foreign products and the products. अच्छा वो वहाँ पर successful है तो फिर इंडिया में भी वो ज़्यादा चल जाएगा. So we want to position ourselves as affordable Ayurveda, as high quality as possible, but affordable always. We don't increase the prices too much. Our amongst the organic category, amongst the Ayurveda category, our soaps will be most decently priced. And yet we were amongst the first 100 in soap category on Amazon at one point of time for our charcoal soap, for our kumkumadi soap. So that's a very good positioning, and it was again because of the students. And again, it's if it is not now, if something is lacking, it is because of the students, and if something is doing good, it's because of the students. So yeah, we are dependent for technology on the interns and students. We do, yeah, so it requires, but and the my personal cap is 5 crores, which we should reach within 2 years. After that, I want to sustain it so that we can concentrate more on the spiritual well-being. Every month we spend 2 to 3 lakh rupees on just the social welfare activities in our village. So we want to increase that also. Our aim is to have a very ideal kind of village with women empowered, not just economically and socially, but also spiritually, so that they are complete, wholesomely, integratedly very happy. It should be a happiness index should also be taken care of, not just the economic and social. So that is what we want for our village, and that is what we work more, in those areas right now, because this is sustainable as such. Yeah. Any other questions?
Hi, also thank you for a very enlightening talk. So you said you are positioning yourself as an affordable Kama Ayurveda or forest essentials, whatever. But I have seen many tribal Ayurveda startups come up, and they basically position themselves in this segment only, that they are affordable and they are tribal and eco-friendly. But again, Kama Ayurveda and Forest Essentials are some of them who made it better. And they are in a niche which cost their products higher. So why don't you think costing your products higher or not being affordable would get you into that niche and basically make your brand image more visible than what it is right now?
So, like we interact a lot with the customers, and we come to know ki, what is needed. So, whatever I have learned from my experience, I have learned that a product sustains for a very long time only when it is the right kind of pricing. So it should not be too much, because right now Kama and Forest Essentials are taking too much of a price for the product, which probably the raw material cost is not even 5% or 10% of the pricing. They are taking more for as the rent of their shops and for their probably their own luxurious lifestyle. But and from promoting luxury in Ayurveda. So that's okay. They are doing what they are doing. But I feel we have learned from the customers that they are not too happy with the Kama and First Essential, because once they pay so much of price, they expect so much of a result which they don't get. So, so we want to maintain that authenticity, and we want to price it so that we are sustainable and it is sustainable for people, and so that it is affordable for the people, and so that more and more and more people can buy it. I think it's only about time. It's only about, ours will be an organic growth. We may not grow, in leaps and bounds, but I think we will grow, organically, and we'll never fall down. That is what I'm sure of by seeing what, it is. And that's what Indianness is. It's all about organic growth. It stays low, but it stays stable. It is never leap and down, leap and down. It's not like that. So I think stability is what we also aim for, which comes from only affordability, reaching the larger audience. Yeah.
I had one more question. So Forest Essentials and Kama Ayurveda, they also started from some niche product, and then they diversified into cosmetics industry also, which gained them a much more brand value.
Yeah.
So what are your ideas on diversifying into cosmetics industry? And cosmetics industry also basically works on the ideology of a very low cost of raw material, but a high priced product.
Yeah.
So that is also a very great margin.
Yeah.
So what do you think about diversifying there?
So I think the question that you are proposing is the same my daughter and I keep, arguing about, because she doesn't mind cosmetics. I mind cosmetics. I feel we produce more like cleansing products and well-being products, but wellness products. But we don't produce cosmetics. We produce kajal, which is good for your eyes. We don't produce mascara or eyeliner. We don't produce lipsticks. We produce lip balms to keep your lips moisturized. So for health purpose. So till now we haven't ventured into cosmetic products because of the ideology. Because I feel the natural beauty is much more what is required. You should not, make up the outer. That is what is my personal take on this, and that is why I have not ventured into cosmetics till now, even though for sure I am not the only person now, so my daughter will take up. So when she comes in, for sure the cosmetics will enter, and yes, they will be higher margin, because again, cosmetics is used, people are ready to pay high for the cosmetics, for the looks. So, but again, I don't promote that ideology so much, so that is why we've not entered into this. So yeah. So it's like our enterprise is not just profit oriented, it's also people oriented and planet oriented. So it works on all the 3 Ps. So profit is only for sustenance, but it's more for people's health, people's happiness. So that is why we want to stay very grounded on our ideologies. Yeah.
Hello, ma'am. I had a question regarding hers as well, hers only. That you mentioned that you want to limit yourself to the the kajal or the of your lip balm, which can be.
150 products, and we have like 275 SKUs.
No, in regards to cosmetics, you mentioned that you want to limit it to that.
Yeah.
So, like, there are a lot of rich traditions in India and abroad as well, which, like, for instance, cosmetic is not a new aspect to beauty, right?
For sure.
We've had cosmetics for time immemorial. In fact, there have been, excavations of how women, or men for that matter, in Indus Valley civilization would use, the bricks to make red roux and all of that. So is that something that you would want to explore in future as well? Tap into the historical aspect of
the
cosmetic?
traditional, yes. Yes.
So
for sure. Right now also we are doing that. We are growing lipstick tree seeds. So that gives the orange and red color for the lips and for this. So we do chocolate lip balms and we do beetroot lip balms. So the natural colors and the natural beauty, because beauty is also, right now becoming cruelty to your own skin, because the people using so much of cosmetics, they spoil their skin because it's based on so much of chemicals. So that we want to avoid completely. In our factory, we use just 3 chemicals which are very safe, which are very, so the industry norm for creams, for example, is 8% of preservatives, chemical-based preservatives using parabens and all that. We use only 0.1%, and that too absolutely paraben-free and very mild FDA-approved preservatives. So we try to, make it very friendly to the producers, the people who are working, and for the people who are using. So they don't understand probably, at one go, but slowly they understand. That is why people are coming back to organic. You would see the trend right now, it's coming back to organic and natural and, herbal. So people will realize that just that stark cosmetic is not really healthy for them. So whatever is healthy and beautiful, we'll keep including that. I'm very open to that. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. I enjoyed both of your discussion as panelists. Actually, I'm researching in the area of female entrepreneurship and locational impact, and access to finance is my actual work, access to finance for female entrepreneurs. And I could really relate at an academic level, even though I haven't gone to the field. So that's why I took a lot from both of you, because you spoke about the locational differences. I could immediately relate it to my academic work, because you have a different experience and ma'am had a completely different experience just because of the locational difference of the positioning of your particular villages that you both work in. So I wanted to actually, from both of you, know more about access to finance. I mean, I'm taking it in a slightly different direction for my own selfish purposes, because I want to know from an academic angle, and you both work in the field. How important is access to finance? How important is location in that when it comes to female entrepreneurship? Does it really promote it? Because that's what literature tells me, but I do not know how it is in the field. So I would just want to know both of your perspective on that, and just if you could give me some insights on that, that's all. Thank you.
Of course, access to finance, it is crucial. And see, in our areas, at least in 200 to 300 villages where we started work, this is a few years back. So at that time, when there was no facilities of loans and subsidies from the banks, the Gram Swaraj Swarn Jayanti Yojana had not started by then. So even that time, from the organization, as little as 2,000 and 3,000 rupees per person, per woman member of SAG, it made a huge difference to them, They would buy 2 goats, and, that would multiply several times, So those 2,000 was very crucial for them. Or, for buying bamboo, Bamboo was that in 100 rupees, they would get 2 bamboos. And so they could make, 4-5 baskets from that, And then, when the government scheme came, they would get 25,000 it was loan and subsidy. So when the women would return 15,000, they would get 10,000 as subsidy. And after that, they have got, in fact, I'm saying they would get, they got 60,000 rupees, So then they expanded their business. And then they got 1.25 lakhs. And so many of our SHGs now, they do not take a loan because they themselves have 4 to 5 lakhs of rupees. And so they are, independent. And there are very few, for individuals, I'm saying, in our areas, they do not get very easy access to mudra loans and all, as in the other states. So I think I would hand over to you can talk to me outside this,
I think definitely finance is very, very important. Provided you have an idea which is scalable, doable, and you have that zeal to carry on, because most of the businesses fail. So that is why most of the businesses fail. That scenario is makes it difficult to get the initial first loan. But once you get the first loan, so for us, the first loan was 60,000 rupees. For that 60,000 rupees, I had to do 16 chakkar of the bank. But now when I need 60 lakh rupees also, I just have to make a phone call and it is available, right? So because now the credibility is there, they know that yes, we can return whenever we require. So to get the initial even 2,000, 10,000 rupees is very, very difficult because of the general perception that most of the businesses don't work, they fail. And yes, the access to finance is very, very crucial to scale up also and to start the new thing, provided you have a good idea and you have the zeal to take it on.
Thank you, both of you. I actually had some follow-up questions, but I'll ask later. I'll meet you both personally.
In
Thank
the
you.
interest of time, please. Stop. Thank you.
Hello. Through this discussion, our guests have shared many stories with us. Stories of tribal women, stories of struggle, stories of economic empowerment. As our discussion on women entrepreneurship in tribal areas comes to an end, I'm confident that all of us are walking away with a lot of invaluable insights today. We'd like to thank our esteemed guests, Dr. Shubhra Dwivedi and Ms. Shikha Jain, for taking out the time for this session and sharing their stories with us. As a token of our gratitude, I request Professor Shweta Jha to present mementos to our guests. Dr. Dwivedi. Mrs. Jain. Thank you so much to our esteemed guests once again, to Professor Jha and all of you for attending the session. Now we will be having a parallel track session, which will be followed up by a cultural performance at 7:30.